Mr. Adams was one of the richest men in the country. He owned many businesses and had more money than anyone could count. People called him the silent billionaire because he didn't like to show off. One day, he bought a big company called Gold Rock Enterprises. This company was famous with over 500 workers, nice offices, and big profits. People thought Mr. Adams would just sit in his mansion and collect money from the business. But he had something else in mind. He had heard stories about how some workers steal money, how some bosses ask for favors before promoting people, and how poor or low-level staff were treated like debts. These stories worried him. How do I know who is loyal? He asked himself one day. How do I know who is honest and kind? Then he had an idea. I will go there myself, he said, but not as the boss. I will go as a poor old man. I want to see how they treat someone they think he has nothing. The next Monday morning, Mr. Adams arrived at the gates of Gold Rock Enterprises, but not in a convoy of black SUVs, not in a suit, and certainly not with the respect he was used to. He wore an oversized faded shirt with patches on the sleeves, baggy brown trousers with holes in the knees, and a cap that looked like it had been through war. His once polished shoes were replaced with dusty rubber sandals. He carried a small black nylon bag stuffed with old clothes, water, and a mop head sticking out from the side. Even his posture had changed. The strong, confident man now walked with a slight bend in his back, as if age had caught up with him. His voice, usually firm and deep, was now weak and shaky. His beard was messy, and his face looked like someone who had lived a hard life. He joined the long queue of job seekers outside the company gates. The sun beat down on them mercilessly, but Mr. Adams stood quietly, sweating unnoticed. Some younger men looked at him with pity. "See this old man," one whispered. "At his age, he still dey find work." Another chuckled. "Make he go rest abeg, he don do." Mr. Adams said everything. He didn't flinch. Finally, it was his turn. He stepped forward to the security desk. "Yes?" the bored-looking security man asked, chewing gum. "What do you want?" "I'm looking for a job," Mr. Adams said, lowering his voice. The guard looked him up and down and scoffed. "With this your dressing? What kind of job?" "I can clean," he replied. "I can sweep, mop, anything." The guard laughed, shaking his head. "Oga, go home and rest. You no fit do this kind work again. Do you want to faint in the toilets?" Mr. Adams stood silently. Just then, a young female HR staff passed by and overheard the conversation. "Who is this?" she asked. "He said he's looking for work," the guard replied. The HR officer looked irritated. "Follow me," she said sharply. Mr. Adams obeyed without a word. They walked through the grand glass doors of Gold Rock Enterprises. The inside of the building was spotless. Shiny tiles, cold air conditioning, expensive furniture. Staff walked past in suits and high heels, holding tablets and coffee cups, barely glancing at Mr. Adams. The HR woman led him into a small office. "Do you have any experience, sir?" she asked. "Yes, madam. I used to clean in another company." "Where?" He named a company he knew had shut down years ago. She sighed. "Fine. We are short on janitors. You will clean the first and second floors, toilets, break rooms, and corridors." She pushed a paper across the table. "Sign here." Mr. Adams took a pen and signed with a shaky hand. She didn't smile. She didn't even look at him twice. "Your uniform is at the back. Report at work 6 a.m. every day. And listen, old man, don't disturb anyone. Don't be too slow. And don't speak unless spoken to." "Yes, ma," Mr. Adams replied quietly. And that was how the billionaire became a janitor in his own company. The next morning, Mr. Adams arrived before sunrise. He put on his blue uniform, old and smelling of bleach. He carried his mop, bucket and brush and started cleaning the floors. As staffs began arriving, he made way for them in the corridors. Some stepped on his mop without saying sorry. Some dropped paper cups right in front of him and walked away. "Old man, come and wipe this coffee I spilled," one shouted from across the room. He obeyed. "Janitor, take this parcel to the 3rd floor for me," another said, tossing him a heavy box. He carried it. They didn't say thank you. They didn't even know his name. To them, he was just a janitor, old man, or messenger. Sometimes, when he was cleaning the toilets, they would talk about him openly. "Why is he so slow? Doesn't he have grandchildren at home? I bet he's here because his children abandoned him." They laughed behind his back. Some laughed at his face, but Mr. Adams wasn't angry. He was watching, listening, taking mental notes. He could see the pride, the arrogance, and the heartlessness in many of the staffs. From the customer care officers to some senior executives, the poison of pride ran deep, but he kept cleaning. He cleaned the floors with the same passion he used to sign billion-dollar deals, because this was his mission: to find the hearts of the company, to see who the people really were. Then, one afternoon, while mopping near the front desk, he heard a soft voice. "Good afternoon, sir. Have you eaten today?" He looked up. There stood Joy, the receptionist. She was dressed in a neat white blouse and black shirt. Her braided hair was tied back, and her eyes were gentle. Mr. Adams smiled slowly. "No, my daughter, not yet." She opened her handbag and brought out a small food pack. "Please, take this. I brought extra today." He was speechless. "Thank you very much," he said softly. From that day, Joy greeted him every morning with a smile. Sometimes she brought him food. Sometimes she simply asked how he was. She treated him like a human being. And when others insulted him near her desk, she stood up. "Stop that," she would say. "He's old enough to be your father. Show some respect." Mr. Adams watched her closely. He began to ask quiet questions about her. He learned that Joy was not just kind. She was smart, a first-class graduate, loyal, hardworking, but stuck at the receptionist desk for 3 years. Why? Because she refused to sleep with the manager. Mr. Adams clenched his jaw in silence. "Let them keep mocking me," he thought. "Soon, the truth will speak for itself." And so, while the world saw a poor old janitor, Mr. Adams was quietly gathering the truth, one mop stroke at a time. One Wednesday morning, it was raining heavily. The rain had started early, loud and heavy, drumming on the company's roof like a warning bell. Mr. Adams was mopping the lobby, water dripping from his sleeves, when he felt a light tap on his shoulder. "Sir," the one voice said gently, "you are soaking wet." He turned to see Joy holding out a small towel. He blinked. You are giving me this?" "Yes. Please, take it. You will catch cold." That small gesture touched something deep in his heart. All morning, not a single person had even looked at him, let alone offered him help. But this young woman, the receptionist with a soft eyes and a calm smile, had treated him like a fellow human. "Thank you, my daughter," he said softly. She smiled. "My name is Joy." "Joy," he repeated, almost like a prayer. "That's a good name." From that day on, Joy became a bright spot in Mr. Adams' difficult days. Whenever he passed the front desk, she greeted him with warmth. "Good morning, sir. Hope you slept well. Have you eaten today? Please sit and rest for a while. You've been working too hard." At first, Mr. Adams didn't know how to respond. It had been a long time since someone cared for him without expecting something in return. In his billionaire world, most people smiled to gain favor, but Joy's kindness felt real pure. One afternoon, when others had gone for lunch, she came to him quietly and handed him a small white bag. "I made rice and stew. I brought extra," she said. He looked at the food, then at her. "Joy, I have no money to pay you." She laughed lightly. "I didn't ask for money, sir. You remind me of my father. He passed away 2 years ago. He was kind, like you." Mr. Adams' throat tightened. He nodded slowly and took the food with both hands, grateful beyond words. Whispers in the hallway, but not everyone liked what they saw. Some of the other workers noticed how Joy treated the janitor with respect. One of them, a proud young man from accounts, scoffed one day, "Joy, why are you always talking to that dirty man? Do you have any shame? Or you are trying to be the good one?" She looked at him squarely. "Because he's a person, just like you and me." He hissed and walked away. Another lady from customer service sneered, "Be careful, oh, before we know it, you and the old man will be eating together in the toilets." Joy didn't reply. She was used to their mockery. She knew how the company worked, how people bowed to power and kicked anyone they thought was beneath them. But she didn't care. Her values came from home, from her mother and her father, who taught her to treat everyone with dignity. Mr. Adams, pretending to mop nearby, heard everything. "She has a heart of gold," he thought, "and yet they treat her like she is nothing." He began to dig deeper behind Joy's smiles. Late at night, when most workers had gone home, Mr. Adams would sneak into the staff records room using a master key he had quietly obtained. There, he found her file. Joy M. Obasi graduated with first-class honors in business administration from the University of Lagos, multiple awards, glowing performance reviews. So why was she still a receptionist? The answer came one day when Mr. Adams overheard a conversation between Joy and the company manager, Mr. Sylvester. He had just finished mopping the corridor outside the manager's office when he heard raised voices. "Sylvester, I've done everything this company has asked me," Joy was saying. "I worked hard. I come early. I stay late. I deserve at least a promotion." Mr. Sylvester's voice was cold. "And I've told you what it takes." "I'm not sleeping with you, sir," Joy said firmly. There was silence, then a sarcastic laugh. "Then keep sitting behind that front desk." The door slammed. Joy came out seconds later, wiping tears from her eyes. She didn't see Mr. Adams hiding around the corner. His hands tightened around his mop handle. His heart boiled with anger. But he said nothing. Not yet. "I will deal with him," he thought, "but not today. I need more." From that moment, Mr. Adams began to observe everything, even more closely. He watched how people treated Joy, how they talked over her in meetings, how they laughed when she walked by. He saw how her ideas were stolen by others and credited to people who had connections. And yet, she never stopped smiling. She never stopped helping others. She never stopped bringing him food. She even once gave him her own slippers when he came to work with his sandals broken. "Joy," he said that day, nearly choking up, "I don't deserve this." "Yes, you do," she replied. "Everyone deserves kindness." He went home that night and cried quietly in his mansion. Tears not from pain, but from awe. A billionaire who had seen the worst of people had now seen the best. That night, in his secret journal, he wrote, "Today, I met an angel in human form. Her name is Joy. If this company has even one person like her, then it is not lost. But I must act soon, I must clean this place, not with a mop, but with truth. And with that, he prepared for the days ahead, because while everyone still saw him as just an old janitor, he found the one person worthy of everything he owned. At Gold Rock Enterprises, the office looked perfect on the outside. Tall glass walls, clean ties, fresh paints, and smiling workers in suits. But behind those polished doors, something dark was happening. Things even the board of directors didn't know. But Mr. Adams, the janitor in disguise, saw it all. He was no longer just cleaning toilets and floors. He was quietly cleaning the truths, watching, recording, and remembering every lie, every theft, every betrayer inside Gold Rock Enterprises. The worst of them all was the company's manager, Mr. Sylvester. Tall, proud, always smelling of expensive perfumes, Mr. Sylvester walked through the office like a king. Everyone greeted him with forced smile. He acted like the company belonged to him. He shouted at every worker in meetings, stole people's ideas, and blocked anyone who didn't please him. Mr. Adams had already seen how he treated Joy, but there was more. One Thursday evening, when most of the staffs had gone home, Mr. Adams stayed behind, pretending to scrub the office kitchen. He had hidden a small voice recorder in his mop pocket. Around 6:45 p.m., Sylvester returned to the office with two senior staffs. They thought no one was around. "Okay, so how much did you move this week?" Sylvester asked. 4 million naira, one man replied. "We used the old project code. Nobody will notice." "Good," Sylvester said. "Send it to the offshore account. I will sign the final approval tomorrow." Mr. Adams froze in shock. "They're stealing company money right in front of me." He waited until they left, then quickly retrieved the recorder. His hands were shaking. "Now I have proof," he whispered. That wasn't the end. In the weeks that followed, Mr. Adams discovered even more secrets. Some of the senior staffs were creating fake contracts. They would write up deals with fake companies, sign them, and move large amounts of money to those companies they secretly owned. One day, while mopping the third floor, Mr. Adams saw one of them printing a fake invoice. He bent over and quietly asked, "Oga, hope say everything dey okay." The man laughed and said, "Old man, just mop and face your work. This one pass your level." But Mr. Adams smiled politely and kept cleaning, while his eyes caught the name of the fake company. Later that night, he checked the company online. It had no address, no real phone number, nothing. A ghost company, Mr. Adams said to himself. They have been eating this place from inside like termites. He took photos, made copies of documents, and saved everything in a secret folder. The more time passed, the worse the treatment became. Some workers now used him as their personal servant. "Old man, go and buy me pure water." "Janitor, take the file to the HR office. Clean under my table and don't touch my shoes." One intern even kicked his mop pocket accidentally and shouted, "Why are you in my way?" And when Mr. Adams tried to speak, they laughed. "Look at this one," Janitor they talk. But he didn't fight back. He only watched. He smiled quietly because he knew very soon the truth would hit them like thunder. One evening, Mr. Adams came into work and saw Joy sitting alone at the reception desk. Her eyes were red. He walked up to her slowly. "My daughter, what happened?" She looked at him, hot in her voice. "They want to sack me." Mr. Adams' eyes widened. "Why?" She sniffed. "Someone said I leaked company documents, but I swear I didn't. I've never even seen the documents they are talking about." Mr. Adams sat beside her, full of pain. "Who accused you?" She lowered her head. "Mr. Sylvester." Mr. Adams clenched his fists. He knew the truth. Joy was innocent. She was being punished because she refused to sleep with Mr. Sylvester, the manager. They wanted her gone. "Don't worry," he said gently. "God is watching." But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't just God watching. He was watching too, and he had seen enough. That evening, Mr. Adams went back to his mansion. He stood in front of his massive mirror, looking at the man he had become. Clothes dirty, face tired, eyes heavy, but behind the disguise was a fire. He opened his safe and pulled out a file, a thick one filled with everything he had discovered. Voice recordings, printed emails, fake contract papers, stolen funds traced to private accounts, and a signed report from an accountant he had secretly hired to verify the thefts. He placed the file on the table and whispered to himself, "They think I'm a fool. They think I'm just a janitor. But now, they will see who I truly am." The time had come. The lion was about to roar. The next day, it started like every other day at Gold Rock Enterprises. The sun was bright, the building shined like glass, and the staff moved about with their usual fake smiles and loud gossip. But something was different. There was a quiet tension in the air. Joy sat at the reception desk with a heavy heart. Her sack letter was expected that morning. She had already packed her small bag of belongings. Her face was pale, and her eyes were swollen from crying all night. Upstairs, Mr. Sylvester laughed over the phone. "Yes, we will push her out today." Nonsense girl. She thought she was special. He had no idea that this was the last day he would ever sit in that office. At exactly 9 a.m., the company's loudspeaker burst. A voice none of them had heard before echoed through the building. "All staffs are to report to the conference hall immediately. This is a special emergency meeting. No excuses." People looked at each other, confused. What is happening? Who made that announcement? I thought the CEO wasn't in town. They hurried down. Managers, interns, cleaners, secretaries, everyone squeezed into the conference hall. The room went silent when the large screen on the stage came on. A company board member appeared on the screen and cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the new owner of Gold Rock Enterprises. He will address you now in person." Everyone looked around, shocked. "New owner? Is it not Mr. Felix?" "No, I heard the company was bought quietly." Suddenly, the doors opened wide, and in walked Mr. Adams, but not the janitor version. No, this time he wore a clean black suit, gold wristwatch, dark sunglasses, and Italian shoes that echoed with each step. Behind him walked security officers and his personal assistants. The same man who used to mop their floors. The same man they insulted, mocked, and ignored. He walked straight to the stage, removed his sunglasses, and looked at them one by one. Some gasped, some mouths hung open. Mr. Sylvester nearly dropped his phone. Joy covered her mouth in shock. Then calmly, Mr. Adams spoke into the microphone. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Adams. I am the man who bought this company 6 months ago. But instead of entering with noise and power, I decided to come in quietly as a janitor." The room was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. "Why?" he continued. "Because I wanted to know the real heart of this company. I want to see how people behave when they think no one is watching. And what I found broke my heart." He raised his hand. A projector came on. The pictures began to appear on the screen. Pictures of fake contracts, stolen funds, voice recordings, and illegal transactions. He turned toward Mr. Sylvester. "You," he said, "you stole over 37 million naira. You used ghost companies. You tried to sack an innocent girl for refusing your dirty offer." Sylvester's leg shook. "Sir, it's not what it looks like." Mr. Adams slammed the table. "Don't lie." Security officers moved forward. You are fired and you are going to jail." The whole hall gasped. Some clapped, some covered their faces in shame. Mr. Adams continued, "And he's not the only one. Several others here diverted company funds, treated junior workers like slaves, mocked and insulted people just because they had no titles. But the truth is out now." He looked around the hall with eyes full of fire. "You all saw me every day. None of you know who I was. And still, many of you treated me like death. That's who you truly are. But among all of you, only one person stood out." He turned to Joy. Her hands were still shaking, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Joy Obasi," he said, "you are the only one who showed me kindness when I had nothing. You fed me when I couldn't pay. You stood up for me when others mocked me. You protected me like a daughter would protect her father." Joy's lips trembled. "Sir, I didn't know. I was only doing what I thought was right." Mr. Adams smiled warmly. "Exactly." He walked down from the stage and handed her a letter. She opened it with trembling hands. Her mouth dropped open. "You are the new general manager of Gold Rock Enterprises." The hall exploded in whispers and applause. "But sir," Joy stammered. "You earned it," Mr. Adams said. "Your hard work, your heart, your values. This company needs someone like you." Tears rolled down Joy's cheeks. She had spent years being ignored, oppressed, and insulted, and now everything had changed. By the end of the day, 5 top staffs had been arrested. 2 were handed over to the police. 3 were suspended indefinitely. Mr. Adams ordered an indefinite audit of all companies' accounts. He also announced new policies to protect workers from harassment, bullying, and injustice. He walked through the office no longer in silence, but as a lion returned to his kingdom. Everywhere he passed, people bowed, greeted, and cleared the way, but he no longer smiled at them the same way. He had seen their real faces, but as he passed Joy's new office, he stopped and smiled. "Thank you, my daughter," he said. She stood and bowed deeply. "You changed my life," he added softly. Joy looked at him and replied, "No, sir, you changed my life." Things had changed at Gold Rock Enterprises. Mr. Adams cleaned up the company, brought in honest people, and made Joy his right hand. She helped train new staff and was given the power to promote hardworking people. As for Mr. Adams, he made a huge decision. He will go to all his companies all over the world and clean out the dirty stuffs that ruins his businesses, because he had learned something very important. Loyalty is not written on the forehead. You find it in actions, and sometimes the persons you look down on might be the one looking out for you.